I love the smell of burnt fur in the morning. Smells like victory! You threw a party in and didn't invite me? We were short on paper.
For as long as humans have told stories, we've loved the moment when help arrives at the last minute to save the day. As the defenders prepare for what may be their final moment, the distant sound on the horizon, the cavalry cresting the hill at the very moment when all seems lost. Maybe that's why those moments stay with us. Han Solo diving back into the trench to save Luke at the last minute. The Rohirrim arriving at Minas Tirith to save the day. The battered army holding on just long enough for someone, anyone, to answer the call. We tell these stories over and over because, honestly, in real life, the cavalry doesn't always come. We are not guaranteed Patton's Third Army pushing through to Bastogne to relieve the trapped forces. Sometimes the walls fall. Sometimes help arrives too late. And sometimes no one arrives at all and the Alamo falls. Maybe that's why those moments hit us so hard emotionally when they do happen in these stories and these movies that we watch. Not because they're realistic, but because they remind us what hope feels like. And honestly, this moment in Barak-Karandul has been a long time coming. The hold has been rebuilding piece by piece for almost a year now. Stone floors, ghosts, the grove, the shrine, the brewery, the rangers, the engineers, and now an army of dwarves. And somewhere along the way, this project stopped being just a terrain build. It has become something stranger. It's now a story, a world, a place that keeps growing every time I sit down at the desk. Maybe it's the frustrated writer in me trying to tell a story. These models here, they were honestly a challenge. They did not always slip together like the instructions suggested. And that's why so much of the construction process did not get filmed. YouTube seems to get unhappy when I use the language I used in fighting with those fiddly bits. I didn't realize I was going to need a real dwarven engineer to actually build these models. Also, the gyrocopters on the box were painted in a little bit brighter traditional colors, but traditional color never really kind of feels right for what I want to do with Barak-Karandul. And again, that's part of telling a story or working with these things is you make them your own. I wanted them darker, heavier, I don't know, machines that looked like they had spent years flying through smoke and battle and then sat for years in an old warehouse in the world that we're manufacturing. And after all this time, they finally arrived. The engineers finally arrive. And Burl, the name for our engineer character, had sent out the word. And the word was heard. Weapons were taken off the wall, shops were closed, and the refugees of an ancient dwarven civilization mustered and arrived at the gates. Not as saviors descending from the heavens, just tired dwarves answering a call the Heart Forge had sent echoing through the mountains and beyond. And maybe that's enough. Maybe hope doesn't always have to look perfect. Maybe sometimes hope is loud engines, burning oil, spinning rotors, and a handful of stubborn dwarves refusing to let the hold die. And honestly, I think that's why I still love stories like this. Because even when life feels uncertain, stories remind us that it's worth holding the line a little longer. You never know what might appear over the ridge. And if the channel feels a little different lately to my loyalist viewers, that's probably because it is. Barak-Karandul has been evolving. And honestly, So have I. But we'll talk more about that next week. For now, the dwarves of Barak-Karandul have arrived.
I did not lie to you. I told you the truth. Karandul will rise again.
Boss, the Gits are up to something in the caves. What are those little farts up to now?